Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another night of Dirty Old Bastards Racing League action. Night 2 of the DOB War Faction Esports 360 Nationals, live on twitch.tv/elbowsuptv. We are also live on the DOB Facebook page and the DOB's YouTube page as well. Fighting a little connection issue with the lobby here. See if it evens out momentarily. Tonight, on night 2, of course, we do have the separate nights for the drivers who are split right down the middle. Night 1 and night 2 with a separate lineup of drivers who are battling for points to earn their position into the final night, of which is Thursday. And due to his night being last night and being locked into the show as well, I am joined tonight in the broadcast booth by beautiful Billy Rowley. Billy, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad. We're, apparently we might go into a little rain delay here.
It's a possibility. You can hear it popping through. Are you experiencing the same issues that I am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
seems like the iRacing server is just a little bit messed.
well, it is reassuring that you are having the same issues, and that means it's not computer related or internet related, which is always a relief. And I do have the EU TV page up right now, so that's what you guys can see. You can hear the cars come in and out every once in a while. If it does stabilize, I'll go ahead and pull that off to where you can see the cars. But I would rather you not experience an epileptic seizure before we get into tonight's events.
Yeah, we'll save the epileptic seizures for when cars are getting on the racetrack.
Yeah, after the damn race at least, at the very least. Let's have the fun, and then we'll have the physical issues. And it does seem like the drivers are experiencing the same problems because there's only 2 drivers that have official laps in this lobby right now, even though there's been a bunch of drivers on track. So,
Which, you know, computers tends to happen every now and then. So if the server got jacked up and overloaded a little bit, it may happen, but so we may have to reload the server here. Just depends. Because I know Jeffrey Stewart's gone out and ran 5 or 6 laps for sure, and not a lap is counted. So could have a little bit of a bug on. Naturally, it's when I show up. So how's everybody?
to be fair, you have the same amount, if not more, of goofy crap happening when you are in real racing. You know, I've sat and watched as we have waited for a tow truck to make its way to the racetrack because the racing event could not commence without a tow truck, obviously. So, if you can sit and wait for a damn tow truck, you can wait for an iRacing lobby to stabilize, which actually it might have done because I'm getting official laps in now, and as soon as I talk about it, boom, we have a skip.
Yeah. It seems how it goes, but
Announcer's curse, baby.
yeah, announcer's curse. We're good at that.
Yeah, right now, if you're joining us, we are fighting iRacing connection issues. The server for the DOB War Faction Esports 360 Nationals is struggling at the moment. You can hear race cars, but they are skipping out right now.
Yeah, and just got confirmation from Chris. He's getting ready to set up a new server. So
Okay, so we are going to have new lobby coming here.
Well, this will be a good opportunity to talk about how last night went for.
That's true, and you know what? Since we know there's going to be another server, I'm going to go ahead and back out. That way we can we can talk without jittery race cars in the background.
And shout out to Ernie Williams. Thanks, man. That was a very hard fought 14th last night. So we yeah, feature sucked, but it was a lot of fun though.
We were talking about, I was talking about last night how it seems like the past couple of weeks iRacing has just given front wings back when they get tore off. Like I've seen it multiple times where guys will be without front wings and then all of a sudden they have them back. And I was talking
That did not happen
about
last
that.
night.
I know I was talking about that last night, thinking, oh well, Billy's gonna hopefully get the same deal and then he'll be fine. And no, it never happened.
No, no. Billy lost the nose wing, half the motor, and basically threw the boat anchor out. So no, just kind of survived. But luckily, set third or fourth quick time, whatever it was. So that got 296 points out of the possible 300.
Won the
Won
heat
the
too,
heat
yeah.
in pretty dominating fashion, I must say. Tacky track warrior here, but I was pretty happy with that heat race win, and then starting third in the A, and just an unfortunate incident. Cabaret got into it with Zane, and Zane had to come. I mean, no, nothing Zane could have done, and I basically T-boned him. So luckily, it's not real life cars, because otherwise he'd be in a lot of bad shape.
Ernie says he'll switch your spots if since you had such a bad night. Um,
Ernie, I will. I'll gladly start fourth row tomorrow. I'm appreciative of that. I was convinced, like when I shut my stream down, I'll be honest, I was 12 shades of pissed. Like I was in a dimension of hell that I never thought I would be in. And then I went to bed and everybody started texting me saying, "Hey, you know, we're your fourth." I'm like, "Oh, all right, well, never mind."
by then he was already halfway into a bottle of Jack, I'm sure.
That is correct. And the bogey number last night was 9. 9 was the number for you keeping score.
If you are joining right now, we are currently in a holding pattern as we set up a new race server for tonight's event. iRacing having some issues here, so we've got to set up a new server. Once we get that set up, we're going to get loaded in. Shouldn't take too long here. Ideally, we won't have any issues with that server, and then we'll be up and running. I think it was an 8-minute practice session was what they had it set up. They are going to do single car qualifying just like last night. So right now, if you're wondering why we're looking at the time for engine heat page here and not racing, that's why.
It started to sprinkle.
It started to sprinkle, yep. A little bit of an
So,
issue there. We're going to get the track
yeah.
ready to rock. And we were talking about last night, which was night 1 of the War Faction Esports 360 Nationals. That was actually a race that was picked up by we had a hell of a battle out front. It was Cole Cabret who took the victory last night, but it was Justin Thomas who was unwilling to let him have it very easily. Those boys traded the lead back and forth multiple times in the 25-lap feature. Tyler Schell also poked his nose in there. He ended up with a third-place finish. And those were the guys that were up front really doing battle last night. Billy was actually up there in third at one point, looking to the inside before Zane Scott and Cole made some contact on the backstretch, which pushed Zane across the nose of Billy, which actually took his nose off. So that was one of the things that we experienced. But we had a hell of a race last night, Billy.
Yeah, actually, it looked really quite good from as it was getting farther and farther away from me. But it was actually it was a pretty good race. I thought the track was actually really good. They changed something with the cushion with the way that it builds up. I honestly never really got a chance to run it, so I couldn't really tell that there was a big difference. I know some guys said they felt it a lot. Some guys felt that it didn't really change anything. So I think if you're just good at running the cushion, you're good at running the cushion no matter what iRacing decides to do. But I was really impressed last night with Weston Newell, 21st to 6th last night. Um,
Which
and
is It's a
That
big
was hard charger, and that was big for points.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What we're talking about here is a 3-night event. Night 1 was the first half of the entries. So tonight is actually the second half of the entries. And the way that they bring those together is through points. You score points through qualifying, heat races, and features. And the way it was, there were 200 points up for grabs in qualifications, and then every position would lose 2 points. There was 100 points up for grabs in the heat races. Every position loses 3 points. And then during the feature, another 200 points up for grabs, and every position loses 2 points. So that was how the points were scored last night. It's how the points will be scored tonight. And the top 10 from last night, the top 10 in points, were locked in to the A main feature for Thursday night. And actually the same thing tonight. The top 10 will be locked in, and then we will have 20 cars, and then on Thursday night we will go to a C main, a B main, and we'll take 4 from that B main, and we will have 24 cars to do battle on Thursday night in the War Faction Esports 360 Nationals main event. So that is what we are looking at here tonight. And actually, I believe I can pull up who are the 10 drivers locked in right now as well. Tonight, we do have a smattering of drivers that will be taking part here. Here's a couple names right here. How about Alex Studinger, Austin Carr, Blake Cannon, Braden Fensel, Cameron Merriman, Cole Newhoffen, Craig Dunn, Curtis Merriman, Gregory Thielsen, Jeff Floro, Jason Randolph, Jeffrey Stewart, John Lepresto, Jordan Hack. They got Justin Thomas, but he competed last night. Kendall Tucker, Kevin Click, Peyton Grease, Taylor Howell. Tyler Shell's on there as well, but he was last night. So these are the guys you're going to be seeing here tonight that will determine who will be the second number of 10 that enter into Thursday night's main event.
Race should be launching.
All right, so there he is.
Oh, you made it stop raining, Chris?
Hopefully. I mean, if not, it's going to be one crazy and late Thursday night. I can tell you that one.
Hey, it'll just be like running 410s at USA for a double show. So, no.
Which
actually,
everybody loves.
The 360s at Williams Grove went past midnight. So
I remember that. It was terrible.
All right.
For the server to crash when the server went past midnight, but
here is the 10 drivers locked in to Thursday night's A main based on points. And actually, let me go ahead and put the password in for the lobby so before I get going. And actually, I should put the right password in. That always helps. The top 10 locked in Thursday night's A main from last night's events. On top and currently pole sitter for Thursday night's A main, Cole Cabre with a perfect score of 500 points. Justin Thomas is second with 489. Tyler Shell, Billy Rowley, Jacob Fields, Ernie Williams Jr., who is tied with James Tiernan, but he owns the tiebreaker. Zane Scott, Anthony Lepresto, and Weston Newell and Michael Sheridan were tied for the 10th and final spot, but Newell owned the tiebreaker by having a better A main finish. So those are your 10 drivers who are already locked in to Thursday night's main event, and we're going to determine 10 more drivers to join them here momentarily. We are loading into the lobby as we speak. God willing, it is the correct lobby. I think it.
I was just getting ready to say that. I think I'm getting into the right one. I guess we'll find.
These things happen.
Yeah, Weston, we're doing well. How are you doing, good sir?
So, if you're hanging out with us, whether on twitch.tv/elbowsuptv or the DOB Facebook page, the DOB YouTube page, or even my Facebook page. We appreciate you hanging out. We are in the correct lobby now. Server looks all right. It's always a little choppy for me when you just load into the lobby. Trading Paint's trying to catch up. Everything going right now. Let's go ahead and let you see some race cars. How about that? We are in at the virtual Knoxville Raceway for night 2 of the DOB War Faction Esports 360 Nationals. 4 minutes and 35 seconds left in hot laps here tonight.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying we were faster last night in our group hours. There's that. All right, Braden's getting close. Braden and Kruger are getting close.
Throwing the gauntlet down.
Biggest thing here is getting an early draw. As long as you get an early draw to qualify, the track will probably slow down about a good solid 2/10, no matter what speed you are. So it's really, really important to get in the lobby early to get a good number. Go out and make sure that you also go in the right line too. Because last night the right line was worth about a 10.5 for me. So very, very big deal for car placement.
All right. Everything's set up now. Take a look at the guy who's currently P1. Ride along with him. Get a view. Everybody hammer down right now, but that will change. We will not be wide open by the end of the night. And this was last night, Billy. Of course, there's fewer cars on track. We're between 25 and 30 cars. It's a shorter race, 25 laps here tonight, just like last night. And we saw last night that it was a very un-DOB track. And what we mean by that is that it wasn't quite as slick as what we're used to. And that created a different kind of challenge for these drivers as well.
Whenever you get to a DOB lobby, you're automatically thinking that you're going to be running on something that's slicker than snot on a marble floor. And last night, actually, the track had a lot of grip. The bottom was still really good. It wasn't totally worn out. The top was actually extremely fast. So, but it was a good track for slide jobs, and it actually had 2 distinct lanes, which is something we don't see a lot of.
2 minutes left in practice right now. Craig Dunn out there doing battle. Trying to figure out what that preferred line is for qualifications. Single car qualifying here tonight. It is set off of how they loaded in the lobby. So we take a look right here. John Harper, Kyle Sargent, Craig Dunn, Aaron Schaefer, Jeffrey Stewart, Braden Eiler, Josh Close, William Duvall, Rusty Kruger, and Brent Hobson are the guys in group number 1. And they are going to have the fastest racetrack out of any of these qualifiers, Billy. So they have an advantage to get out there while there's still a lot of moisture on the racetrack.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot of luck of the draw, but you also have to run the right line. I'm just kind of scrolling through here, looking at some lap times that guys are running. A lot of 16.2, 16.3, 16.3s. Some guys back in the 16.6s. Craig Dunn is still rolling around at 16.1s. So depending on where old Craig rolls out 3rd for qualifying. So Craig's in pretty good shape if he can keep that speed going, because the track's not going to change all that much right now until the end, until the last 45 seconds or so.
So 38 seconds left here in our hot lap session, and we will get ready for qualifications momentarily. Single car qualifying. We're going to get to see every qualifying lap. As long as my fingers know which driver to click on when they change groups. Probably looking at 3 heat races here tonight. Last night we went straight to a B main and then the A. 25 lap A main features, so a short night even with the rain delay. But we're glad to have you hanging out with us, whether you're watching on twitch.tv/elbowsuptv, the DOB Facebook page, wherever you're watching. We appreciate you hanging out. We saw excellent racing last night, guys. And everybody, I'm the broadcaster for the Dirty Old Bastards Racing League. You want to say, well, these guys are fantastic. They always put on great shows, yada, yada, yada. You hear that promotional garbage everywhere you go. But I'm telling you, last night we saw some fantastic freaking racing. And I do not doubt that we will have the same here tonight. So we're going to sit on Kyle Sargent here. He should be one of the first ones to load in.
John Harper looks to be your first. Looks like John Harper, Craig Dunn, Braden Eiler, and Josh Close look to be your top 4.
Harper getting ready to rock right now. As we said, single car qualifying. Weston talking real racing. Brian Brown making a gear change during an open red. That's about as radical as you get.
As a crew guy on a sprint car, that's called a no. Because rear gears get extremely hot and no.
Drivers calling for it from the cockpit. Say, hey, change that gear. They're like, F you, man. No, you changed the gear.
Yep, we changed it. Go up there and run it.
Go get him, buddy. John Harper, lap number 1 here. As the first qualifier, he's run a 16.645 on lap 1. We're going to see what he gets here across the line. It does take timing and scoring a little bit to catch up, so he's going to get to turn 2 before we see the actual lap. It is quicker, 16.610 on lap 2 for John Harper.
Which is kind of shocking to me. I had figured we'd be a little bit quicker than that right now, but the track actually does look a little bit sicker than it was last night. We'll see what the old British Texan can do.
Craig Dunn out on track now. You saw him through 3 and 4 on the outside of the track, getting as much momentum as he possibly could there. Looks like lap 2 is going to be the lap he's trying to hit perfectly. 16.520 was lap number 1 for the Team SETI driver, and his second lap is much quicker, 16.406 for Craig Dunn, as he becomes our provisional pole sitter right now. 2/10 quicker than John Harper right now. And out onto the track now in the 5, it is Braden Eiler, Kinzer Sim Team driver, going to cross the line right here for lap number 1. 16.413, very close to Craig Dunn there. Eiler.
Braden was talking earlier in the week about how he hasn't really run much 360 stuff. He's more of a 410 guy, so comes in at a 16:48, so a little bit slower on his second lap. Looks like he's still second to the old British Texan, which I'm going to getting that started.
Josh Close out on the speedway now. It's the first time we've seen Josh for a while here. Driving that 7C machine. Close, very quick driver. Lap number 1 on the board, 16.531 for Close. 16.531, real close to that wall coming out of 2.
Well, as long as you keep your momentum up, it's okay to do that. You just have to be real careful of it to not tag the wall or get one of those little ghost blips that'll kill your lap.
Yeah, lap number 2, not an improvement for Josh Close. We don't see many invalidated laps here at Knoxville. That was something I saw a lot of in late model competition last week as we did the World of Thunder League on the Ultimate Dirt TV broadcast. And you just, those guys were just out there hustling it, and they would lose some of their best laps. Rusty Kruger Not losing that lap. That's a 1:06.494. Good enough for third spot right now. It's kind of funny because as we talk about it, these laps, they click off so quick that by the time I'm done talking, they're hitting lap number 2, which is not quicker for Kruger. And he will make way for the 29 of Taylor Howell. Howell with some beautiful wheels. Like them colorful wheels on that car. He's always got a couple of different paint schemes he likes to pull out. 1:06.614, lap number 1 for Taylor Howell. That's good enough for 6th right now. Going to look to find a little bit more here on lap number 2. He will find some. 1:06.573 gets him past John Harper and into the 5th spot. Yeah, here we go, getting the old Cadillac out here. It's Mr. Kevin Hanley in the 110.
And Kevin reminds me so much of like a John Stanbro, because he's not flashy, but it seems like generally he's always up front and you have no clue how we got there. And that's not an insult either. That's just, he's like the silent gasser. He just gets inside the top 5, top 10 and
always there.
Does it. He's just quick.
Second lap is quicker for Kevin. He's going to go to 3rd on the timesheets, 1:06.484. And now on the track, first Swindell Speed Lab driver of the evening. It is Kendall Tucker in the 2. In typical Speed Lab fashion, he is going all white here tonight. No trading paint scheme in. Lap number 1, 1:06.460. Good enough for 3rd for Kendall Tucker on lap 1. Sardul.
Trying that Brian Brown slider line through 3 and 4 and see if it'll pick anything up. Looks like he just ran out of fuel crossing the line, so
yeah, a little slower there. Yep.
I think the slider line is going to be fast in racing trim, but right now in qualifying, you just have to slide the car so much from the bottom to the top that it kills all your momentum off the corner unless you have enough fuel.
And for me, it always seems to be more effective in 1 and 2 than it does in 3 and 4.
Oddly enough here, for some odd reason, the way that the track goes in 1 and 2, there's this really good distinct slider line, but 3 and 4 is usually a little.
Larry Moody on track here in the 73. First lap was a 1:06.725. See if he can do a little better here on lap 2. He does, 1:06.687. That is 9th place for Larry Moody, and he makes way for another Kinzer Sim Team driver in the 11. It is Cole Newhoffen. Billy, you know a little bit about this car. Painted it yourself, I believe.
Yeah, I did. Cole had me do this car, and then he's also got a Valvoline car, or the Steve Kinzer-esque Valvoline car. So I've actually got a couple of paints in the field tonight. So shameless plug here, Paints by Tuna King. You can find me on Facebook.
Also, make sure you check out the War Faction Esports page on Facebook as well. War Faction putting on this event here in DOB competition. 1:06.554 for Cole Newhoffen. And we move to the 07 of Kyle Sargent on the track now. Sargent sporting those Rockstar colors. 1:06.899 is lap number 1 for Kyle Sargent. He's going to look to try and find something more. Some of these guys trying to keep their momentum up using that outside line, and it just doesn't seem to have the oomph. I think they might be in good shape for the heats, but the qualification lap's just not quite there. Kyle Sargent better on lap 2, 1:06.820. And now it is John Lepresto out on the raceway in the 75. New team for John Lepresto. He was talking about that a couple weeks ago. It might have been Anthony talking about it, actually. Anthony did battle last night. That's actually a Saldana car, isn't it? La
Yeah,
Presto.
that's
16.570. Go ahead.
yeah, that's his new one. That's Saldana's new ride. Pretty sporty looking Pete.
Lap number 2 is better, 16.570, good enough for 8th, and he makes way for Aaron Schaefer in the DOB machine.
Another beautiful race car, if I must say so myself.
Ernie Williams thinking about a throwback for the DOB 410 Nationals. We were talking about the Paints by Tunican Steve Kinzer rides, and I made a request for the old Superman car. I want to see that one come back. I like the colors on that bad boy. 16.905 is lap number 1 and the best lap for Aaron Schaefer. He's going to make way for the elbows up Sim Sport driver here in the 72. It is Jeffrey Stewart.
And Jeffrey's come a long way over the last few months. He been getting faster every week. He just picked up VR a couple weeks ago, so he's been really getting used to that. He's been getting a lot faster and a lot more consistent. And actually a pretty good lap right now.
Yeah, I was 16.538, and Jeffrey was using that outside lane. You see him slider line there through 3 and 4. Got to the top pretty quick. See if it's any better. No, not quite. Pretty consistent 2 laps there. Good enough for 7th quick right now. And remember, these drivers are trying to get as high up as they possibly can, not only because there is no invert here tonight, but you score points in qualifying as well. So it's very, very important for a guy like Brent Hobson here in the 181 to get as fast of a lap as he possibly can. One 6.726 lap number 1 for Brent Hobson. Peyton Grease calling out that Dory is coming out of retirement tonight. Bringing the old girl back out. He's about to do it. Hobson betters on lap 2, 16.686. Good enough for 12th quick right now. And this is Peyton Grease, the Shark, on the speedway now.
And it's amazing what those little bobbles off the corner will do to your straightaway speed. Those bobbles are worth like a half a tank when you're qualifying. It's extremely important to keep the car as straight as possible, especially at Knoxville, more than anywhere else probably.
Yeah, and at this high of a level, and with still so much moisture on the racetrack, I mean, we harp on it every week. The DOB is just ultra competitive. You can't make mistakes. You make mistakes and you lose so many positions. 16.503 for Peyton Grease. Pretty good run there in qualifications here, because we are getting into the late stages. We have 16 cars qualified, I do believe. Currently watching Cody Olson. Not sure if he had a little hardware issue there, but he's going to give away lap 1. Cody was very fast last week in DOB competition. Lap 1 is not going to be a good one because he was getting up to speed there. But Cody now on his go lap. Weston saying he's got an all-black stealth version of his paint that he's going to use for the 410 Nats. Everybody getting prepared here. Olson, 16.560, good enough for 10th place there. Now onto the Traceway comes the 17 of John Bragman. Still cool temperatures at the virtual Knoxville Raceway. I think we had 69 degrees last night, 71 degrees air temp tonight, Billy. And not going to be a huge difference for these guys, but...
Well, I'm glad they stuck me on the nicer of the 2 weeks.
Man, after racing in the summertime and sweating like crazy, I remember some nights I would lose 10 pounds just from sweating your butt off. 16.734 is the lap for John Bragman. 2 very nearly identical laps there. Good enough for 16th. But I would lose literal pounds sweating working through the summer, and then you get to those fall months where the air is cool, the engine makes good horsepower, you can breathe. It's just fantastic. We need to get there.
Yeah, this whole working on race cars thing out in the middle of the heat is not much enjoyable right now, but it's what you got to do. It's better than...
Jason Randolph having a little bit of connection issues there. You saw him blinking out. 16.685 is the lap for Jason. Dylan Workman on the track now. First time we've seen Workman here in a few weeks. Driver that was leading points in one of the DOB series last week, I do believe, before having some issues. I think he was ended up getting taken out in one of the cautions. 16.600, lap number 1 for Dylan. That's good enough for 13th. We'll see if he can improve on that lap here. He will improve. 16.552. That takes him up to 9th spot. And now on the track, William Duvall II, known as Zardul the Great on Twitch. He mentioned in chat he was about to run a completely new set for qualifying. Never ran before, Billy. That's not exactly the ideal situation, is it?
No, not generally, but I mean, you got to try it somewhere, and you're better off doing it now than in the heat race. Where, I mean, the heat race pays a little bit less in points, so qualifying's important, but I can't say I've never done it before.
Lap number 1 is his fastest lap, 16.891 for William Duvall. He makes way for Nicholas Cheever in the 11 machine now. No relation to Eddie Cheever. Actually, let's not say that because I don't actually know.
I'm going to say probably not.
Probably.
I don't think any relation to Eddie Cheever is going to be running a sprint car around Knoxville.
As long as he knows what McDonald's is, that's fine.
I forgot about that. I forgot that he had never been to a McDonald's before.
Cheever was one of those first Americans overseas running the Formula One ranks, and when he came back to run the Indianapolis 500 for Chip Ganassi, they took him to a McDonald's, and he'd never been in one before. I had no clue what to order. That's 17.080 for Nicholas Cheever, 22nd quick, and now we get the 311, actually 211 in the 360 series here, of Alex Smulders. Probably the final Kinzer Sim Team machine that we will see here tonight. 3 of them all in tonight's action. Smulders lap number 1, 16.609. And a lot of these drivers utilizing that high line, Billy, they're getting it ready for the heat race.
Yeah, and it's a lot wider than it was last night for sure. A lot wider. That's a hell of a lap. A 16:54. That is a hell of a lap for this late in the game. So Smulders is rolling pretty.
9th quick, Alex Smulders here. As qualifying nearing its end. I'm looking at who's left. We've got 4 drivers left, counting Anthony Marvulio, who is on the track right now. And the final driver at the bottom of the page, we always make fun of him for qualifications. It's James Edens. Edens is notorious for never getting a damn qualifying lap in. To top, like he even went higher than his normal mark of missing qualifying. He actually made qualifying last week, set a time 2 seconds after the checkered flag flew, was the fastest lap in qualifications, and it didn't count. Anthony Marvulio, 16.948 is his lap, good enough for 23rd. And now we have 2 War Faction Esports drivers getting ready for their qualification laps. The first one in the 39 is Jordan Hack. I'm not sure if that's just how it shook out or what. You know, are the DOB officials saying, hey, War Faction guys, we know you sponsored the event. We're going to start you, or we're going to qualify you last just to know we're not being, you know, unfair because you paid money or what? Jordan Hack with a 16.738, good enough for 20th quick. And he gets a
very good-looking car, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Gregory Tilson is the man that hits the speedway now in the 048 for the War Faction Esports team. 2 drivers out here tonight. Tilson's first lap is a 16.727. That's 19th quick. See if he can get a better lap here on lap number 2. Not going to improve there on time, so lap number 1 is going to have to stick. Now, we laughed about him. We talked about his qualifying issues. James Edens, we're sitting here. He is selected. We should be seeing him on track, but no James Edens. I'm sure the DOB admins.
I'm not sure if he's going to get a lap due to the fact that he wasn't here for hot laps.
It is a possibility. You know, I don't think I saw him on the lineup sheet, actually, for night number 2. So maybe he wasn't signed up, but how did he get the password would be the question. How do you get in the lobby if you're not signed up and not allowed to participate? So I don't know. A little bit of question mark
Almost
here.
like somebody signed in was Smoke Johnson or something like that, just to or I don't remember what JJ Yaley used to sign in as at the Chili Bowl.
Oh,
Anybody remembers?
I'm gonna have to think about
it's
that one.
It's gonna bother me now.
Smoke Johnson very famously smoked a fan in the face this weekend.
And I must say, in a completely unbiased opinion, the guy deserved to get socked in the mouth.
Well,
Just
I'm of two minds in that matter. It was Tony was signing a checkered flag for a young girl, a fan there, and somebody was mouthing to him in the pits, and he warned him, and then he said something that Stewart did not appreciate, probably in the presence of the young girl, so he decides to go over and sock a guy in the face, which is another thing that you don't really want to do in the presence of a young girl. But don't get me started on Tony Stewart. I'm not. I'm not the biggest fan.
I'm a huge Tony Stewart fan. So
one of the best drivers to ever sit behind the wheel. Gigantic asshole. There, I said it.
I will go out on a limb and say second best race car driver of all time.
Who you put number 1?
I mean, duh.
Okay, all right. AJ
Foyt.
No.
I mean, did.
So we're putting Tony Stewart above Mario.
Yes.
Above
absolutely.
Al Unser.
Yes.
Rick Mears.
Yes.
Fernando Alonso.
Absolutely.
Michael Schumacher.
Fernando is not even in my top 20.
Pure talent. Fernando's on the list.
Pure talent, maybe. Statistics, though. Okay, he might be in the top 20 based on the fact that I was just getting ready to say Tony Stewart would have won a lot more races in IndyCar and other disciplines if he didn't get fat. Because, look, I'm a fat guy. I can't go run an IndyCar anymore. Not that I could do it in the first place, but I can't go run an IndyCar anymore.
Hey, I'm still the right size. Anybody, Michael, come get at me. Heat race number 1. Heat race number 1 on track, on the pole in the 0:57. It is quick time. Team SETI driver Craig Dunn. To his outside is the 110 of Kevin Hanley. Josh Close, Dylan Workman, row number 2. John Lopresto, Jason Randolph, row 3. Gregory Tilson, Kyle Sargent, row 4. And rounding out your field is the 238 of Anthony Marvulio. Top 5 will advance to tonight's A main. 10 laps the distance. Craig Dunn going to give him green right here. We are underway.
Great start for Dunn. The second row is getting ready to go to Close. Should be up to second by the time they get off it.
Close. Actually making it around Hanley, which is something we didn't see on the starts and restarts last night. Second place was able to close the door, but not this time. Josh Close into second over Kevin Hanley. You can see Dylan Workman behind him trying to find that outside line. Jason Randolph right now in the transfer spot.
It's so hard to get off a 2 right now underneath somebody just because of the fact that in order to turn down off of them, you have to go right through the slick, which kills all your momentum. You're almost better off running around the top and getting as close as humanly possible, and then sliding them into 1 to try to clear him that way. I think that's what Hanley's trying to do or planning on doing if he can get to him.
Which sometimes works very well and sometimes does not. It is quite complicated when you get close enough to where it's actually kind of hard to see to hit your marks. Let's see if we can get you a good representation here. This is what our main man is looking at right now. Now, I don't believe he's got that much dirt on his screen. He's got the tear-offs that pull off, but you can see what happens when he gets close to the rear end of Josh Close in front of him.
And it's such a timing game too, that if you time it wrong, you really don't have an option. But if you time it wrong and you have to get off the gas while you're on the cushion, the car's going to push and you're going to obviously slow down because you're off the gas. And the guy behind you is going to get by you generally. So it's a very fine line between timing everything right and knowing when to throw the slide drop and knowing when to go to the bottom of the right.
Not sure if Jason Randolph had an issue or what. He was blinking. I am not showing him on the racetrack right now. Anthony Marvulio currently off the racetrack 2 laps down, so it's possible maybe they had a little bit of contact. You never know. Right now, John Lopresto is the man in the final transfer spot. Out front, Craig Dunn making it look easy in the 57. 2 laps left in this race, and he's got a sizable advantage over second place Josh Close.
Yeah, that's a very, very comfy lead. So all he's got to do is pretty much run 2 more laps and bring her on home. And that's the advantage of setting quick time. He's already set up 300 points. As long as he finishes, I don't want to give the announcers curse on the last lap, but as long as he finishes this, 300 points going into the main event, you pretty much run a top 10, you're going to be locked into the show.
Craig Dunn, winner of heat race number 1. Second place, Josh Close. Third place, Kevin Hanley. Dylan Workman coming home 4th. And 5th place will be the 75 of John Lopresto. Craig Dunn starting off with a perfect evening, scoring every single point that could be possible for him. Always a popular driver in the chat is Craig Dunn.
And I must say, a damn good guy, too. Teammate of mine, but he's a lot of fun. He's just an all-around good dude.
Peyton Grease called out that Jack Hewitt is the #1 driver of all time. I would say for a non-wing sprint car driver, that's a decent shout. I've seen a lot of good
short
ones.
track driver, he's in the top 5 of all time.
Well,
guys that have just ran short track. In Indianapolis doesn't count because that's still a short track.
Which is a good list to be on if you're top 5 because you've got to throw Schatz and Kinzer in there.
And you put them in the wrong order. I'm just letting you know that right now.
I don't think so.
No. We can agree to disagree on that one, but you're wrong.
You got Darland in the top 5?
Honestly, no. No, I don't. It's hard not to with the being the winningest sprint car driver in USAC history, but man, there's just so many.
It's tough. It's a tough one. Heat race number 2 on track now on the pole in the Kinzer Sim Team machine. It is Braden Eiler, and he's got Rusty Kruger to his outside in the 5. Jeffrey Stewart in the 72, and Cole Newhoffen in row number 2. Taylor Howe and Brent Hobson, row 3. John Bragman, William Duvall, the 2nd, row 4. And Nicholas Cheever rounding out your field. Braden Eiler going to give him green for 10 laps. Top 5 will advance to the A main. Here we go. I see Kruger got a good start there and was able to close the door on Stewart. He will hold on to 2nd place, and then those guys are going to fan out and do battle for that transfer spot as Newhoffen and Stewart go at it there for 3rd.
And what Jeff's got to do right now is, never mind. See, I was getting ready to talk about it from the first game. When that happens, it's almost better to let the guy go. Let the guy go and race him.
Rough start here for Jeffrey Stewart, who's made contact with Taylor Howell there down the front stretch. Howell got the worst of it. And then contact off of turn 2. But he is still going straight at the moment, and he is in the transfer spot. Braden Eiler now seeing the 5 of Rusty Kruger getting bigger and bigger in his rear view, but it might be Cole Newhoffen making the biggest moves here, Billy.
Cole had to get out of the gas real hard. I think he was getting ready to go slide Rusty, and either Rusty heard him or saw him in a mirror. I don't know if he runs one or not. Cole is making the bottom really work, kind of old Daniel Lasowski style. And now, as I say that, he goes right back to the...
He's testing it out, doing what he can here. Currently holding down 4th is a Brent Hobson. And Jeffrey Stewart still has that final transfer, but he has the 29 of Taylor Howe starting to bear down on him. Those were the 2 cars that made contact there as they crossed the line on lap 1. Howe got the worst of it, but he has been able to recover. Stewart's going to try to hold on. He'll fight tooth and nail because he wants that final transfer spot to get into the A main. Now, there won't be a whole lot of cars that miss the show here tonight. Last night we saw, I think, 8 cars transfer through the B, but at the same time, we want to try to get in now so you don't have to worry about making contact in the B and taking you out of the event like Shea Palo experienced.
Well, and the other thing, too, is the point factor. And we got a race for second right now. Looks like Newhoffen rolled the bottom. About as perfect as you can get. Got like...
It seems like he has cleared him.
Right now is, the biggest thing right now is points. You got to be transferred into the main with points, or out of your heat race to get those valuable points. So that way you don't have to go as far forward in the main event.
Battle for the transfer spot and battle for the race lead. Teammates out front, Eiler and Newhoffen. Looks like Eiler's going to protect the bottom line and take the victory. And now, Taylor Howe trying to get around the 72 of Jeffrey Stewart. He comes to the line. Not going to happen. Jeffrey Stewart going to hold that final transfer spot. Taylor Howe being relegated to the B. Cole Newhoffen second, Rusty Kruger third, Brent Hobson the other transfers here in heat race number 2. Oh my goodness, we're still on the best racers of all time in the chat. Weston voted Paul Walker as the best all time. That's a good shout.
Oh boy.
He was pretty hot in his prime, and that is a terrible joke.
Yep, that was bad. That was real bad.
Rich Vogler.
Rich Vogler is in my top 5 of short
Absolutely
track
fantastic. One of the only short track guys that transferred that to the big stage. He did very well in the IndyCars as well. Mel Kenyon, you got to throw out there as well,
Mel
another
Kenyon,
driver.
Jan Opperman, Jim Hurtubee. There's so many short track drivers that are absolutely legendary. It's really hard to stack them all up.
Who was it that called me out? It was, where are we at? Somebody mentioned, there it is, in Huck, saying that Kinzer is better than Donnie. That is debatable at this point.
Nope.
It is
Sure
debatable.
Not. No, right now
Peyton,
it is not. He's got
now,
10
you
more
want to hear?
titles.
You want to hear 10 more titles. You want to hear something a little more controversial? How about Peyton Grease calling out that Sammy is better than Steve?
Well, I'm going to call out Peyton right now and say he is wrong as hell. Because Sammy Swindell, great driver. Absolutely fantastic driver. He couldn't hold Steve Kinzer's helmet bag.
I think the problem with that argument is they race together a lot. It's the same way with AJ Foyt and Mario Andretti. They race together a lot, and Foyt beat Andretti a hell of a lot more than Andretti beat Foyt. Same way with Steve and Sammy.
Same way with Steve and Sammy. I know.
That is what it is. Sammy Swindell, fantastic race car driver.
And I must say, one of the coolest heat race interviews I've ever seen in King Royal history. Ranks right up there with Greg Wilson crying when he won the heat race a few years ago. So the Sammy Swindell, woo, I got it a little bit.
Kendall Tucker, Peyton Grease, Alex Mulder, Cody Osen, John Harper, Larry Moody, Jordan Hack, Aaron Schaefer. We are getting ready to go here for heat race number 3. Tucker giving him the green. Great start for Smolders. Terrible start for Peyton Grease, who drops back to 5th, but he's got the momentum on the outside. Is John Harper going to close the door? He leaves
Back
room.
into third.
He did run into the back of Kendall Tucker there. Peyton had such a great run. He's going to dive to the inside meat of the sandwich, 3 wide down into turn 1. Grease going to put the slider on Tucker, but they're going to run out of room. Contact down the backstretch. How are they all still going? Kendall Tucker got the worst of it. Now they're done. Okay, that crash started in turn 1. You just didn't see it until turn 3. Let's go back here. Let's go back. And I want to go back. They're coming off of 4 right now. Smolders out front. Tucker on the cushion. Tries to go over the cushion to stay to the outside of Grease. Grease makes contact down the backstretch. And then going into turn 3, Grease and Olsen still in each other. Somehow all of these cars continue. Peyton's got a little front end damage. It doesn't look like the car's tracking sideways. A wild start here.
Yeah, that was that's that little over-aggression that we were talking about earlier of make sure you're there at the end. That's that's a pretty big key to it. If
It's a fine line. It's a fine line because you want to score as many points as you can to lock yourself in and to give yourself a good starting position for Thursday. But at the same time, there's 8 cars in this race, 5 transfer. You don't want to put yourself out of the race because you're being aggressive to take one more position.
Right. It is much better to start 15th in the A than start first in the B. Any way, shape, or form, no matter what you do about it. And it looks like Peyton did get a meatball flag.
Yeah, he parked it in the infield there. So Peyton Grease going to be the first car out of this race, which actually will likely start him dead last in the B main.
And Aaron Schaefer's car is also doing a little bit of the crab walk here as well, and he's running 4th. So it'll be interesting to see how that'll shake out.
He is pointed in the wrong direction, that is for sure. But if you get the meatball flag, you have 3 laps to serve it, and you never know if 2 more guys crash and they're out of the race before he is, then all of a sudden he's in a damn transfer spot. So we are back green here working lap 6. Alex Smolders, your race leader. Second place right now belongs to John Harper in front of Larry Moody in the 273. Kendall Tucker has made his way back to 4th place in this race. Schaefer right now with the final transfer spot, but he's got Cody Olsen to the inside. And those guys that were mixed up, Jordan Hack and Cody Olsen making contact now. Hack upside down in the inside of the racetrack. No caution. Jordan Hack continues. Aaron Schaefer has some breathing room now.
Yeah, and Kendall's got to march through the field a little bit, too, to gain some of those points back. I mean, qualifying up front helps, but there he goes around the lead. But he's really got to at least get back to 2nd to salvage the points that he really, truthfully, probably should have.
I got to say, this is a pretty good charge for a guy who looked to be struggling there on lap 1. Maybe he just needed to make a wing adjustment, or he just had some sort of thing go wrong there that put him...
I'm going to go with when he hit the wall and bent the Jacobs ladder just enough to tighten the car up.
Hey, whatever works at this point. And it's working for Alex Smolders in the 211. He's going to come to the checkered flag here and win heat race number 3. John Harper going to finish 2nd. Kendall Tucker 3rd. Larry Moody 4th. And the final transfer will go to the 77 of Aaron Schaefer. So here we go. Looks like 9 cars will transfer. That means 2 drivers going home here tonight. And this is where it gets dangerous. Rocky 15, thank you for the follow, my friend. Never got to call you out there. We are live on twitch.tv/elbowsuptv. Also live on the DOB Facebook page and YouTube page. My Facebook page as well. Not sure who's hanging out on my Facebook page. I don't get the chat for that for some reason. I know the Irish Mafia has been hanging out watching a bunch of these races, so shout out to the Irish Mafia.
Chris Hyatt, Wolfgang or Swindell, Doug Wolfgang, hands down.
Wolfgang, yeah.
Wolfgang is. I think Wolfgang is better than Sammy. Truthfully.
Wing, non-wing, that sort of thing.
He's just. Doug Wolfgang was amazing.
Pavement,
Doug Wolfgang
even.
was unreal. Yeah, really good on pavement. Even.
So, Jason Randolph did not make the call for this race. I'm not sure if that's internet involved. We've seen him doing a little bit of blinking there. So Jason Randolph is one of the cars that will not make tonight's features. That means there are 10 cars on track. 9 of them will make tonight's A main. Now Randolph he's in the pit. So I bet that's internet related. DOB officials probably said start from the pit lane. You'll be fine. So Jason Randolph is going to be hoping for some of these guys to crash, which you would sit there and say, Billy, don't be stupid. Take it easy. We'll be fine. But last night we saw some guys get aggressive and knock themselves out of the race. Jordan Hack on pole. He's got Taylor Howell to the outside. Nicholas Cheever, Gregory Tilson, Kyle Sargent, Cody Olson, Peyton Grease, John Bragman, William Duvall, Anthony Marvulio, and in the pits is Jason Randolph. We're about to go green for 10 laps. I know it says 12 laps. We're only doing 10 here, and the green is out. Great start there for Jordan Hack, who inherited the pole position there as Randolph started from the pits. And we are green here in the B main. Look at that behind them, Billy. Five cars doing battle. A little bit of contact there. That was Sargent.
Down along the bottom, just making the bottom work and rolling it as good as it can up the third right now.
Hey, Peyton started way back in this thing, too.
Yeah, he started way in the back. He's definitely got the speed. He should have probably transferred. He definitely should have transferred. Unfortunate things happen sometimes.
Peyton loves the bottom. That's his thing. That's why they call him the shark. He'll get up on the cushion every once in a while, but when the bottom is fast, that is when you see him do well. You see him take second spot away from Hal there, and these guys right now can do nothing but watch because that bottom side working really well. You can see Olson working it right behind that 92 car. Jordan Hack right now has the race lead, but Grease has pulled side by side down the front stretch. Hal going to try to get to the inside as well, but Olson is there. Grease now taking the race lead here on lap 5. Randolph still in the pits, 4 laps down at the moment. Let's try to back it up here. We're going to go. Man, we got a great race out front. I hate to take the camera off of them. Ooh, a little bit of wall issue there for Jordan Hack off of turn 2. Taylor Howell trying to put the slider in there. Not quite enough. He's got Olson to the inside. Let's back it up here because Anthony Marvulio right now has the final transfer spot into tonight's A main, currently running 9th. William Duvall II is in 10th, and he is trying to find his way into the feature. He needs one more spot to earn that transfer spot, and the laps are winding down. Only a 10-lap race. As we said, it says 12, but it's only 10. Peyton has gotten free out front, Billy. And those 2 cars doing battle behind him is just letting him set sail.
Yeah, and now he goes back to the top because I think the bottom is truthfully starting to wear out, especially in the middle of the corner where the cushion is so good right now. The cushion or the bottom's losing its grip in the center of the corner. It's still really good off, but the cushion or the bottom in 3 and 4 is definitely better than what it is down in 1 and 2.
Big issue for Kyle Sargent. That changes everything right now. You saw that incident there on the front stretch in the background. Sargent on the final lap here is going to drop back to 10th, and he's going to miss this race. Duvall and Marvulio taking the final transfer spots. Peyton Grease, did he have an issue on the final lap as well? I'm showing Cody Olson as the race winner. Goodness gracious.
Let's go back and, I'm going to go back and see what happened there.
While you look at that, we're going to hit a little bit of a commercial break as we get the 5-minute warm-up hitting the track now. Want to remind you that Wicked Relief Gum is your daily dose of CBD in the form of a chew. Each piece is 10 milligrams of CBD and absorbs 5 times faster than other products. Whether it's pain, inflammation, anxiety, or insomnia, Wicked Relief Gum offers quick and easy relief. Just go to wickedgumcbd.com and use code DOBRL for 10% off your order and free shipping on race days. The DOBRL code also works on wickedenergygum.com for a boost of energy and focus as well. Were you able to get an update on who won that B main there, Billy?
Everything it looked like Peyton won. I don't see why he wouldn't have. He ran out of fuel going into one after the checker came out. But I must say, a good-looking 4 wide we got going on right now. How did ours look last night, actually, AJ? Was it all raggedy?
It was good stuff, man. I do enjoy the 4 wides here. This is the DOB salute to you, the fans. Letting everybody know.
AJ. Do the contest.
I'm not. I am not a Johnny Gibson impersonator. I will say, this is the best damn iRacing sprint car league there is in the simulation. So if you wanted the best, you came to the right place. Everybody likes to copy the World of Outlaws. This is not a copy. I'm not going to do the whole spiel. We know Johnny Gibson does it so well, and we can probably hear it if we all channel our inner thoughts here. Just a little bit of inner peace, and we can hear the man describing it. But this is their salute to you, the race fans, hanging out with us here on night 2 of the War Faction Esports 360 Nationals. And we're going to have a little fun there as we kick off the actual warm-up session here. We're watching Braden Eiler at the moment. Get a good overview of this racetrack. See the different lines that guys are utilizing here. Braden Eiler on the top side of the track is fastest right now with a 17.507. He's going to get knocked off by Peyton Grease, actually. Peyton to the top of the timesheets. He's running the top of the racetrack. Now back to 5th as Dylan Workman takes away the quick time right now. Workman's on the bottom, Billy.
The bottom is still definitely there. Last night it was really, really even. Extremely even, top and bottom. The racetrack right now is about perfect, truthfully. Probably see a few slide jobs, but I don't think you're really going to have to. I think you can get the car locked down on the bottom and roll and be fast enough to pass a guy on the top and
John Loretto in the Facebook chat going to trigger a bunch of people. He says, not a simulation, it is a game. He's just trying to fight. That's what he wants. John wants a fight here tonight.
Either way, it's sim, game, whatever it might be, it's a hell of a lot of fun. It is, I must say, as a semi-retired fat guy that used to drive, this gets my competitive fix. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what it's about to me. You know, obviously there's things that they're not going to be able to get right. I tell you what, other than how the cushion seems to hold you, for my money, the dirt track itself, driving through the slick, things like that, is pretty close. It's got a good feel to it for sure. You can do some things on the cushion that just don't happen in real life, but
yeah, if you put a sprint car 4 wheels above the cushion, generally speaking, at
They're
Knoxville,
not
it's
gonna end
probably
well.
not going to work out real well.
Not getting in well. Weston calling John out. Yeah, them's fighting words for iRacing people. For my money, I'm the broadcaster. iRacing marketing calls it a simulation. That's what I got to go with. So.
It's a great gaming simulation. How about that?
There you go, gaming simulation.
Nah, either way, if you haven't had a chance to go to any racetracks where Tim Sims, if you're going to be in Knoxville next week, go see Tim Sims and pay the $5 and hop on the simulator. It's a really, really cool deal. It's a lot of fun, good community for the most part, but it's a good community to be a part of. So it's a lot of fun. Keep growing it. The more dirt guys we get, the faster we'll get tracks and new cars and all sorts of fun stuff.
Tim Sims, a big supporter of EUTV as well as the DOB racing leagues. You can get in the cockpit yourself with Tim Sims as he travels around to the various dirt tracks across the country. He is stationed in Ohio. So
yeah, I think the farthest west I know he does the Chili Bowl and the Eldora Sprint Car races. Goes to Knoxville, so be sure to check out Tim Sims. He's darn good people, good group of guys, and give you some really good feedback about what you need to do in order to go iRacing. So,
starting lineup for tonight's feature: 25 laps the distance. On the pole, the 057, he's been perfect so far. Team SETI driver Craig Dunn. Braden Eiler to his outside in the 5. Alex Smolders, Josh Close, row 2. Cole Newellhoff and John Harper, row 3. Hanley and Kruger, row 4. Kendall Tucker, Dylan Workman, row 5. Brent Hobson, Larry Moody, John Lepresto, Jeffrey Stewart, Aaron Schaefer, Peyton Grease, Cody Olson, Taylor Howell, John Bragman, Jordan Hack, Nicholas Cheever, Gregory Tilson, and William Duvall and Anthony Marvulio round out your field. 25 laps the distance. The DOB War Faction Esports 360 Nationals night number 2 about to kick off here at the virtual Knoxville Raceway. Craig Dunn's going to give him green.
great start from Dunn. Slide right up to the fence.
He made him wait on it, Billy. Not a late start, but he definitely brought him down slow, and Craig Dunn got a good jump because of it. He's going to head to the bottom of the racetrack. Braden Eiler on the cushion, beating that car around, trying to find his way around the 57. Alex Smolders right now in third. He's got Josh Close to the outside. Newellhoffen, who was running the bottom in his heat race, currently up top. Brent Hobson is in the pits now. Not sure what happened to Brent. He started in what is, I think, 11th place and is now 2 laps down. So something happened to Brent early on. We got a race for the lead now. Braden Eiler pulls to the inside of Craig Dunn. Slider coming in. Dunn's going to try the over-under as Eiler gets to the cushion. Big charge there for Dunn. He's going to clear Eiler down the front stretch.
And you got to have a really good setup to make the return process look like that. So I don't think these boys are going to clear each other for a while. There they do it again.
Eiler and Dunn trading the lead back and forth in the early stages of this race. Only 25 laps. Not necessarily a sprint as compared to what the normal 30 laps that we do, but these guys want to score maximum points to put themselves in a good position for Thursday night. Eiler going to protect the middle lane there as Dunn utilizing the bottom. Eiler's going to clear him down the backstretch, move the Kinzer Sim Team machine into the race lead. Looks like Dunn's getting through 3 and 4, a little better than 1 and 2, Billy. But the top right now showing how good it is.
Yeah, the top in 1 and 2 is completely the fast way around. The bottom of 3 and 4 you can still make it work. There's a bit of moisture coming off the corner. But as we see that, Dunn's starting to slip back even a little bit more. I think the cushion's just becoming a little bit more dominant. Looking
a little farther back in the field here. Looks like Workman is one of the guys trying to make his way forward. Now I found him. There he is, Dylan Workman. You see him doing battle with Lepresto there. Caution out! Problems for Kevin Hanley.
The curse lives on.
We talked good about him. God forbid we actually say the man is good. Into the fence. Seemed like that car kind of bottomed out on the cushion there, and it dumped him around. Let's take a look at how fast things go wrong here. Just gone. Absolutely gone. Maybe a little bit of netcode involved. I didn't even hear a big smack on that fence, but you saw the car just completely bottom out and turn around.
I had that happen last night to me in the warm-up where I got up on the cushion and it just snapped because you can't really run the cushion like you did before. I really don't. It's not a ton different, but it's just enough of a difference to give yourself a little bit of a learning.
iRacing dropped an update yesterday, so these guys did not have much time to prepare for the new changes. What happened to Craig Dunn? Dunn had an issue there before the caution flag waved. He was in second. Now look at him. Newhoffen and Close have made their way around. Aaron Schaefer right now up 5 spots to the top 10. Eiler letting the pace truck get ahead. We should be going green this time by. White flag lap moves to lap 28. Caution flag laps do not count here. So we are not losing any racing action. So on lap 28, the white flag will fly. Eiler going to give him green. Newhoffen trying to lay back a little bit and time this correctly. Let's see if that works or backfires here. Eiler goes. Newhoffen sticks with him pretty well. Behind them, Josh Close and Alex Smolders doing battle. Smolders on the bottom. You can see Kendall Tucker down there with him. Craig Dunn on the high side of the track there in 4th. Rusty Kruger, John Harper, Dylan Workman right there waiting to get a little higher up in this field and do battle with these guys. Smolders going to slide Dunn, head to the top, race for the lead. Braden Eiler has his teammate Cole Newhoffen breathing down his neck. Eiler slides out on the cushion there. That allows Newhoffen to go to the inside, but then they switch. Newhoffen to the top side of the track. He's got to run here coming off a 2. Will he be patient? No, he's going for the slider this time. Cole Newhoffen to the race lead. Can Eiler hop under him? You see Newhoffen getting out of shape on that cushion, Billy. These guys are really struggling.
Yeah, the cushion's starting to get pretty rough and abusive, actually, just as we were talking about that.
I think it bit Josh Close.
Josh Close started to get bit, and Alex Smolder was just right on him and nothing he could do. But Dunn might have a little bit of damage on the right rear of the car and flipping him a little bit.
Get a different viewpoint here. You can see that cushion. Yeah, he just hopped the cushion there. It slowed him down, started to turn that car sideways. Goodness gracious, Aaron Schaefer sure finished him off there. Unfortunate for Schaefer. Let's back it up, get a cockpit view here of what happened to Schaefer. He's going into turn 1. Close over the cushion, makes contact with Smolders. That shoots him to the inside of the track. And then, yeah, thinking that Close was going to the top side, Schaefer had pointed his car to the bottom. Once he got to the slick, there was no more adjustments to be made. So unfortunate deal there for Aaron Schaefer, who is now out of this race. Lap 31 becomes our white flag lap. A little over halfway here. Braden Eiler had the race lead when the caution flag waved. It's been a very interesting start here to the Wharf Action Esports 360 National Night 2. Tomorrow night, will be the main event. Starts at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope you will join us for that as well. This is a qualifying night. These drivers racing for positions which will score them points. We're going green this time by. Braden Eiler gives him the gas. Better start for Eiler this time. Newhoffen still with him. Both of those drivers to the top side, but you can see that cushion is building and becoming more and more dangerous. Dunn.
Dunny just rolled the wing back a bunch, and he's kind of rolling the bottom now pretty good. Him and looks like Kendall's trying to go right along with him.
Yeah, he is the first driver on the bottom side of the racetrack. We'll see if he can get into a good groove there. Right now, Rusty Kruger has made his way around into the top 3. Braden still doing battle with his teammate there. You see Harper, Workman. Is that Grease? Look at this. Peyton Grease up to 9th here. He was rolling the bottom when I first saw him. Now on the top side of the racetrack. Let's see what he does down here in turn 3. He's going to dive down to the inside of Dylan Workman. Gives him a little bit of a right rear. He got in there really well. Workman probably not super happy with that, but Peyton Grease taking 8th spot nonetheless. Here we go, Billy. Race for the lead. Newhoffen has caught Eiler, and these teammates are about to battle it out for the win here.
It's just going to be who can fire the best, because Newhoffen, I think, is a little bit quicker than Braden, but it's just really hard to pass right now for some reason. I don't know if they're being teammates. They're probably on pretty close to the same set, so they're probably not the same speed. And Newhoffen making a mistake on the cushion, so you can see right there how much time that can.
Yeah, Newhoffen seemed to get into the cushion, which shot him down the racetrack. Let's ride along with him here for just a few laps. See him trying to stalk that 5 car. It's the fast way around, but the high side causing these drivers all kinds of problems right now. You can see how Newhoffen is working the wheel, fighting that car. He's not lifting. That is wide open out there. Maybe a little bit of a lift there as he got into the cushion, but that motor's bogging down too. A little touch to the wall. He has to use a lower line. And the caution flag gonna wave here. Can we find out what happened? Cody Olsen in the pits. There we go. Olsen's going to get into turn 3 there. You see him coming out of turn 2. Another one of those deals where the cushion bites. Car gets upside down.
And that's one where the cushion on this game, it builds a hill. And when you put the right front over the hill, it's gone. You might as well hit Alt F4 and hop out of the game at that.
It seems like the only one that really works out is that hill that they get at Volusia, where you almost feel like you're driving on the billboards, like the track just builds up. But Knoxville, definitely one of those that makes it a little more complicated on these guys. White flag lap moves to lap 34. We are in the waning stages of this race. Currently in 3rd is Alex Smolders, his name not showing up on our board. 10th place John Lepresto not showing up either.
Kinzer Sim team is kind of flexing their muscle right now.
1, 2, 3, baby. Goodness gracious.
But Peyton Grease, the big mover of the night so far, up. Actually, Taylor Howell coming from 9 spots up, Grease 8 spots up. So they're having a hell of a race coming through the field then.
Do want to remind everybody, War Faction Esports putting this event on, getting it broadcasted here on Elbows Up TV, bringing you the action from the Dirty Old Bastards Racing League. Give them a look on Facebook. Follow their page, War Faction Esports on Facebook. As we said, Kinzer Sim Team is the team out front right now. They have the top 3 spots, and Braden Eiler going to give them green here. It's at 6 laps to go. Here we go. Eiler is off. Newhoffen, another good start again. You see Kendall Tucker on the bottom side of the racetrack trying to make that low line work. He's got fourth right now off of Rusty Kruger. Wow, Newhoffen's right there. Right on the back bumper of the 5. Cole waiting for the right opportunity. He's going to go for it right now. Looked like that car got out of shape, and he made that move because he had to shoot to the bottom of the track, Billy.
Yeah, I don't think he really wanted to go down there that early. I think that's more of a, that was more of a had to go there than anything. And now look at him. We got swapped one.
He wants to go there this time. Slide job in through 1 and 2. Newhoffen on the cushion. Can he hold it? He's got it. Braden Eiler fighting back to the inside down at turn 3. Slider in. Newhoffen, the over-under. Smolders is just licking his chops here because these guys are slowing each other down, and his gap is changing. Eiler back to the bottom on Newhoffen. Smolders coming up to the rear bumper of both of these drivers. It's a 3-way battle for the race lead. We're looking at 2 laps to go this time. Newhoffen to the bottom, to the inside of Eiler. Smolders right there. He's trying a different line. He's going to try to roll the bottom, maybe box Eiler in. They're 3 wide off of turn 2. Kinzer Sim Team doing work at the front of this race. Smolders with the lead. Here comes Newhoffen through the middle. Eiler on the outside. Newhoffen has the lead here as the white flag waves. Cole Newhoffen on the high side. Smolders on the bottom. 3 teammates doing battle for the race win. Newhoffen edges ahead. Eiler goes to the high side of the track. Who's going to win this race off of turn 4? Contact down the front stretch. Newhoffen.
What a race. What a race.
Oh, my God.
That's unbelievable. What a race.
You thought I was lying. You thought I was lying to you, feeding you a line of bullshit, but I wasn't. The Dirty Old Bastards Racing League is the best in iRacing, no doubt about it. Fantastic race.
What a great
for
race.
the win. Cole Newhoffen, your race winner in the 11. Alex Smolders coming home in second. Braden Eiler third. You could have thrown a blanket over top of all 3 of these guys.
And I was absolutely convinced Eiler was in the catbird seat when they both went to the bottom. Unreal.
Wow, they made contact there, and I thought Eiler was going to squeeze by on the outside. The contact did not really slow him down, however. Wow. I just, you hear that marketing everywhere. Oh, this league is the best. This league is the best. You just saw it. I'm sorry. You just saw it.
I've run a lot of leagues, and I'm not. This is by far my favorite league to run. Hell of races, a bunch of great racers. It's a whole lot of fun. That's unreal.
All right, don't go anywhere, everybody. We're gonna pull these 3 guys into the broadcast booth and get some interviews here, and I like to pull everybody in at once. A couple of them still getting in there. They're probably catching their breath. Okay, here comes Braden Eiler. We've got Cole Newhoffen. We're waiting on Alex Smolders, who we will pull in now. There we go. All right, boys. All right. So, Kinzer Sim Team making a pretty strong friggin' statement here, saying we're going to be the team to beat come tomorrow night. The man of the hour, Cole Newhoffen, taking victory here on night 2 of the War Faction Esports 360 Nationals. Cole, your teammates didn't make it easy on you there, brother, and you even had to swap a little paint coming down to the flag. Talk about how that win feels.
That was the best race I've ever had in my racing. I mean, we both braced each other hard but clean. I mean, the last corner, we're both teammates, but at the end of the day, we both want to win, and that was just a great finish.
How is it to have your teammates right there racing with you? Obviously, you don't want to cause your teammates any harm. You don't want to crash each other and really hurt your chances in this deal. But at the same time, to be able to race with teammates and friends and really battle it out like that, that's the best thing that can happen in one of these races, isn't it?
I mean, the best part is I know what they're running, so then I'll because we both went on different gears, and I knew I would be better in the slick. So I was like, okay, I'll just wait for it to slick off, and then I should be better. But yeah, it's such a blast. I mean, we all work hard on our setups, and we all run different things, but we all work together at the same time. It was just a great race overall. Me and Braden slider battle for like 10 laps straight, didn't touch each other once. It was stuck the middle there, perfect. I don't know how I did. I saw Alex on the bottom, then Braden slid me, so I turned down, then oh crap, there's Alex, and I just lifted completely off the throttle in the middle and got it off exit, and then I was able to just, that yellow came out, and I was like, oh crap, we have a yellow, and then he said run it out. I'm like, oh, I better go now, and then since he was on the bottom of the corner before, I just had to stick it there because I knew he'd be there again, so it was just a great finish.
So you've put yourself in a pretty good position there for tomorrow night, which is the main event. You're locked into the show. And how do you feel about your chances here? You talked about this, liking the slick a little bit better. We're not sure what kind of a track we're going to get. Going to be a lot of practice sessions, but only 3 races tomorrow night. How do you feel about your chances?
They toned down the cushion. I think I'm never usually able to run the cushion here, but my car felt really good on the cushion tonight. That's where I was the whole night. But hopefully it gets somewhat like this tomorrow. This is really racy, but hopefully there's more of a bottom tomorrow. It doesn't burn off so much, but I'm sure it'll be a good.
Well, there you have it from your race winner, Cole Newhoffen, taking the victory here in dramatic fashion on night 2 of the War Faction Esports 360 Nationals. Let's talk about the guy who finished second, Mr. Alex Smolders. You were in lockstep there with your teammate. Those Nerf bars were hooked together, and I don't think either of you lifted for sure, because if you had, I think Eiler would have went around the outside. But you guys battling it out to the finish. How does it feel to take second spot? I'm sure you want a little bit more, but you had to have fun out there.
Yeah, that was a real fun race. I thought I had him coming to the line. I mean, going into that last turn, I figured he would stick it down there. And then when he did, I said, screw it, I'm sticking to her. And I mashed the pedal and got to his side panel, but guess he lost by 0.0818, so.
Yeah, there's
well.
not much there. You put on a hell of a show, and we were talking there on the restart. Those guys started trading sliders, and all of a sudden you started catching them. And we were sure you were licking your chops, and then you surprised all of us by going to the bottom and being really strong down there.
Yeah, the bottom, it didn't start off too good in the feature. It was, I think people started venturing to it too early on in the night. I think second heat, people started going down there, and just come feature time, it was just too far gone for us to stick to it with the bottom early on, and I fell back a little bit to about 8th or so and was able to work my way back up on the top, and then started reeling them in. That caution helped. I was pumped when that caution came out because I knew I had a car to compete with them. I mean, we're all on different stuff here, but we're all just as competitive with each other. It was a clean race, fun race. Not clean coming out of 4 there, but it never is when you're that close. But yeah, that was a fun race. Good win, Cole, Braden. I don't know. I'm still taking it all in.
A little bit of excitement there to end the night. You got to feel good about your chances. Tomorrow night, you're locked into the big show. Probably going to be looking at a good starting spot. That's going to make a big difference when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm locked in, but I'm not too positive if I'm going to be able to make it home for the race. I should be able to, but I'm not positive.
I will say this, as the old guy of the group, iRacing comes first. Always remember that, and as Nathan Davis said, there is not a single driver's license on this podium, so technically you can't even go anywhere.
Well, it's real life racing tomorrow night, so if we're done early, I'll be here.
Get on out there and real race, man.
There you have it. Alex Smolders taking second place here tonight. Let's talk about the guy who finished third. Braden, I'm sure your eyes were very, very wide as you saw those guys make contact there on the bottom coming to the checkered flag. I bet you felt like you had a run and might have a shot at that win there.
Before you say anything, Braden, I would just like to, I'm going to preface this by Braden always is the first one to yell me, run the top, run the top, run the top. How's it feel to run third and 2 guys on the bottom there, pal?
I don't think they ran the bottom, but I mean, I'd rather
I
run
had
third.
to give you a little bit of something, man.
I'd rather run third than my teammates than really anyone, but I think with the gear choice I went with, it was probably Cole was probably a better setup, but me and Alex were pretty similar as far as that went. So I knew, me being the one up front, that last caution was the last thing I wanted, because I knew both of them were going to be aggressive, and I would have just rather to deal with Cole than both of them, which that's a big handful. But yeah, that last caution, I didn't really want that, obviously. But I think if I probably went to more of a similar gear choice with what Cole did, I probably would have been better. I just, from what I've heard all weekend, maybe choose what I did and from the testing I did and information I gathered. But Kinzer 1, 2, 3, it ain't too bad.
You talk about the restarts there, which you seem to feel like you were a sitting duck. Was tonight's track kind of a rhythm track where you needed a handful of laps under your belt there to be able to manage the cushion as it continued to change all night? Is that kind of something that you were wanting, other than just not having a caution come out and getting those guys right on your bumper?
Yeah, I would have rather had laps just because of the fact that the way I set my gearing up to, I would have been better off with how the track started in the beginning. I was pulling away then, and once it started slicking off, 1 and 2 wasn't too bad, but 3 and 4 got really sketchy, and there's a few times where it'd like to slide up over on the cushion. You have to get out of it and try to pull it back. But yeah, not that my gearing was the type of gearing that needed to pull it up, but with how it reacted to the slickness of the top side and how it got, it was probably best to keep on a nice smooth ride.
So Kinzer Sim Team 1, 2, 3. Braden, you going to make a strong statement here and say that the Kinzer Sim Team's going to take victory tomorrow night in the War Faction Esport 360 Nationals?
Oh, of course, I'm gonna make some changes and do some testing and see how I'll come out for tomorrow. I'd just like to shout out Cole for the win, Alex on getting second. Good race between all of them. Thanks to our sponsors, Wicked Cushion, my sponsor, Dirt Race Network, Rockstar Productions, Porter Tire. I guess I'll shout them out too. DRC Transportation, DRC Chassis, Missile Valley Transportation, and Southern Pacific Farms, and Brooke Sanford. And thanks to DOB and everyone who puts this deal on.
There you have it, your top 3 here tonight, all hailing from the Kinzer Sim Team stable. Cole Newhoffen, your winner. Alex Smolder, second. Braden Eiler, third. Night 2 of the War Faction Esports 360 Nationals is in the books. We've got 20 cars in the main event tomorrow night, locked in. And we want you to come back at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, watching on twitch.tv/elbowsuptv or the DOB Facebook page or DOB YouTube. We will be hanging out with the final night of the 360 Nationals here in DOB competition. You've already seen the great racing action that is to come, and tomorrow night is the racing for all the money. We will start out with a practice session for the C main, run the C main. There'll be a practice session for the B main, run the B main, and then we're taking 4 to the main event, where we will start 24 cars for all the marbles. And the A main on Thursday night will actually, is it 25 laps tomorrow night, or are we going back to 30 laps, Chris?
I think it's 30.
Yeah. The C main's 20, the B main's 25, and then the A main was 35 laps.
35 laps at the virtual Knoxville Raceway tomorrow night. So that is a significant difference compared to the 25 laps that we're doing here. There's going to be more cars on track. There's going to be more practice sessions. So the track is going to change a little bit. Will it be similar, or will these guys have to adjust? And could we see some different names coming forward in this race? It's going to be a hell of an exciting event, and we hope you will join us tomorrow night as we get going with the War Faction Esports 360 Nationals. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight. Let's see who we've got going on Twitch here. Maybe we'll give somebody a little bit of a host before we go. We've had a lot of fun. I mean, it's great when they go down to the damn checkered flag 3 wide. That's pretty darn hard to beat, to be honest with you. But let's see here. Who's hanging out doing some racing? Couple drivers doing some dirt stuff. I have never checked out this gentleman myself, but we've got somebody doing some dirt late model stuff, so we are going to host Mr. John A. Theodore. Did we just veto that one?
Nope.
No?
Well, I was not necessarily, but not necessarily, but no, he's a good dude. He's a good sim racer. He's a pretty good sim.
All right, so we're going to head over there on Twitch. If you're watching on Facebook, you're going to have to wait for tomorrow night, baby. We're going to see you at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and if we don't see you, we've got a blood feud. You better be here, because we're going to have a hell of a lot of fun tomorrow night. So we will catch you next time. Thanks for hanging out with us.